Hey guys, it's Becky from Bama, and today I'm going to film my first rant video. So when I started this channel, I told you you would see 3 things on here: weird, geeky, nerd culture, random acts of kindness, and my awesome family. So this vlog is going to be about my family. The other night we went out to eat at a local restaurant. It was Buffalo Wild Wings. It was really delicious and the staff was amazing. And we had a very unfortunate experience while we were there. While we are eating, a lady at the next table made it very clear that she was unhappy with our family. So let me give you a little background on what happened. One of my children, Lucy, my daughter, was in trouble. And so when we got into the restaurant, I pulled her over to the side and I told her exactly what I expected of her behavior while we were in the restaurant. I told her that she was not going to get a soda with her meal, that she was going to get water, and I gave her a choice of 2 different things to order from and told her to go sit down. The rest of the meal was completely fine. Everybody was having a good time. It was actually a late birthday dinner for me that my sister-in-law, Malik, that y'all heard me talk about several times, was taking me out for because she is in town. And everybody was having a great time. Lucy was having a great time. My other kids were having a great time. I was having a great time. But it became obvious throughout our meal that the lady next to our table was not having a good time. She kept getting louder and louder, and I wasn't paying attention. I had no idea it had anything to do with us. I honestly thought she was having a problem with her server or with her food or something, but my kids started to notice that she was taking pictures of our table and pictures of our family, and so I got really quiet and started listening, and this is what she was saying. She could tell that it must be check day because we were out to eat dinner. And obviously we were using our foster kids check to go out to this dinner, and then not even letting those babies that the check is for get sodas or meat like our real children. And it was a shame how awful we were and that we were terrible foster parents, and I mean really making a whole lot of assumptions about our family from the 15 to 20 minutes she had seen us sitting together at a restaurant. So when I realized what she's saying, I turn around and I say, hey, you know, I can tell that you're upset, and I know that you think that these are our foster kids, but I just want to explain to you that these are my children. All of these are my children. None of these are foster kids. We're not keeping them for a check. It's not check day. It's my birthday dinner. And the reason she is being treated differently than the others right now is because she's in trouble, not because of the color of her skin. Because let me also clarify that the children that she thought she was defending are the 2 children in our family that are African American. So white mom and dad, 3 white kids, 2 black kids, and because my daughter got water and was eating a macaroni kids meal that looked delicious, by the way, she assumed it was because we were racist and we were terrible foster parents and that we were oppressing our children. So I explained to her the situation, that I'm actually their mom, not their foster mom, and they're not treated any differently. She's just being in trouble, and that is one of the things that we have chosen as a consequence for her today, is that she doesn't get a soda. And the lady proceeds to curse at us. My kids are super confused because they obviously know how we really are, and so the kids don't know why this lady's being kind of insane at the next table. Other tables are looking over like, what is going on? And it doesn't matter what I say to her. She doesn't care. She doesn't believe me, whatever. I said, you know, she had said that my children that were black didn't get meat to eat, and my son, Malik, had ordered boneless wings, and so I'm like, the last time I checked, chickens were meat, and that's what he ordered. He ordered what he wanted. And my daughter, I had given her a choice of 2 things to pick between, and she picked the one that she wanted, but the lady argued with me that that's not really what they wanted and that they were being horribly oppressed. Even with the kids telling her that everything was fine and that there wasn't an issue here. Then she actually started making comments that were very ugly about my daughter's appearance. The daughter that she thought she was going to rescue and save and be the champion of and empower and everything. She started asking me, didn't I know somebody that could brush that baby's hair? And to put it in perspective, my daughter's hair was actually, she was wearing this big, beautiful wig that looked amazing. It wasn't even her real hair. And it looked great. It actually looked a lot better than the lady's hair that was doing the talking. And right in front of my daughter, she says, "Don't you know anybody that can brush her hair?" And it was just so disrespectful. It was so rude to my children. It was rude to me and it was rude to my husband, but it was especially rude to my children and to Malik, who had taken us out for this dinner. And I would like to point out, this is not the first time it has happened, and it does not seem to be isolated to one age group, race, location, or anything. The first time that this happened, it was a drunk white man that was probably in his 30s. This time it was a black lady that was probably in her late 50s. And here's the problem, is that if we go out to dinner and one of my children that's white gets in trouble and I get onto them, everyone around me is like, "Good job taking care of that. I'm glad you're disciplining those children so they don't grow up to be awful people. I'm glad that you're being a good mom and you're taking care of business and disciplining your children." If we go out and one of my children that is African American gets in trouble, then it's like, "Oh, you're a terrible racist and you are being mean to that baby because of the color of her skin." So even though I'm treating all of my children the same, if we're in public, the perception is if I get onto the white kid, it's because they did something bad. If I get onto the black kid, it's because I'm bad. And that's a problem. And I feel like I wanted to make this video because I want people to realize that when you go to a restaurant and you see people sitting there eating their dinner, you have no idea about their life. You have no idea if those are their children, if those are their grandchildren, if those are stepchildren, if they're foster children, or if they're just babysitting somebody else's kids. You have no idea, and you shouldn't assume, because most of the time when you assume, you're probably going to be wrong. And when people start making ugly comments in front of the children, it makes the children, first of all, very insecure. They wonder why someone is attacking their family, and they sense that it's because of them, because she's talking about the kids and how they're different, which really alienates them and makes them feel different, when in our family they're not different, but to that lady they were different. And so the long story short, the management came over. They were very kind. They asked what could they do. They were going to make her leave, but she, once they came over, realized that they were going to make her leave. So she just got up and was making a big deal about leaving, and thankfully left. But it was really rude. It was really upsetting to my children. It was really upsetting to Melly. And it was just a situation that could have been avoided if somebody had just not assumed that they knew our story. And I want to give a major shout out and props to my husband, because my instinct, being the Southern girl that I am, is just to go off and defend myself and be reactive. But he was the calm one that was like, "Hey guys, let's just all join hands and let's pray." And he prayed and thanked God for putting our family together. He thanked God for the fact that we know who we are in Christ and that we love each other and that we have a family bond. And then he prayed also for that lady, that God would just take the hate out of her heart and open her eyes to see the reality of what was going on. And so he was the one that's like the responsible adult, that was the good parental role model. And I'm the more, I want to be really assertive right now and handle this lady in public. But another awesome thing that came out of this is, because the lady posted, because the lady took pictures of us, I figured that she was taking them so she could post them on Facebook or something and talk about how horrible we were. So I went on to my Facebook personal page and just said, "Hey, if I just told everybody what happened, and I said, if you see these pictures, please tag me, please let me know so that I can have them removed, so that people aren't posting pictures of my children." I think it's really creepy when you're out in public and people start taking pictures of your children, like not because they're taking pictures of a place and your children just happen to be there. But when they specifically are trying to take pictures of your children and they don't have your permission, that's really creepy to me. So I really would like to know if someone's posting pictures of my children. And so I just asked, hey, if you see these pictures, please tag me, let me know something. And the response was overwhelming. Close to 200 people either reacted to that or commented on that. And everybody was so supportive. People that are all different demographics, all walks of life, like black, white, Hispanic, people that have a lot of money, people that have a little money, people that are old, people that are young, people that are Christians, people that are not Christians, people that are straight, people that are gay. I just had so many friends comment to show their support for our family and to encourage us and to build us up. And it just made me realize there are so many more good people in my life than there are bad people. I have such an awesome group of friends and family around me that support us, that it really puts it into perspective that in 6 years since our family has been transracial, only twice has somebody really come up and just attacked our family. And we have so many more people that love us and support us. So thank you to all the people that stood with us and supported us on that. But I've run my mouth long enough. I want to give some of the other people in my family a chance to comment on this, because I think it will really put it into perspective for people, and maybe the lady will actually see this and maybe it will put it into perspective for her that my kids have an understanding of their place in this family, and they know that they are loved, and they know they are valued, and they know that God put them here for a reason, and that they're not treated differently than anyone else. So another thing I would like to point out, just a funny side note, is that anytime this happens, the person is always like, anytime, the 2 times it's happened, the person is always like, you don't treat these kids like you do your real kids, and they'll point at Christian and Caden and Brooks, now that he's here. And I would just like to point out, first of all, that they're all my real kids. None of them are imaginary. They're all real. They're all mine. My name is on all of their birth certificates because I have legally adopted them. And they always assume that because Caden is white that she is our birth child, and she actually is also adopted from the foster care system, just like Lucy and just like Malik. So for them to differentiate between her as my real kid and these kids as my not real kids because they're adopted just shows their ignorance, because she's also adopted, and all 3 of them are just as much a part of our family as our 2 biological children. The only time it's ever pointed out to our children that some of them are adopted and some are biological are when ignorant people in public places point it out, like this lady, or on National Adoption Day when we celebrate our adoptions and post a bunch of pictures and try to encourage people to adopt because we think it's an awesome thing to do, and we'll post a picture of the adopted kids and be like, hey, we adopted them and it's awesome and you should adopt too. So that's really the only time it's ever pointed out. And they're all really cool with it. There's no stigma attached to adoption in this family. We're very open with it. We love to educate people about adoption. So I'm going to let my kids talk now and see what they have to say.
Well, what happened was in the parking lot, like, I had gotten in trouble because I was being bad the day. And we got out of the car, and I saw the woman with her son out in the parking lot. And she was cussing at him and stuff. And I wanted to say something, but I didn't. And so then after we went in the restaurant, me and Caden, I looked over and I said, is she taking pictures of our family? And then she acted like she was taking selfies, but started taking selfies of my aunt. And Caden was like, maybe she thought that that she was a celebrity or something. And so then I think what happened with them was that how they found out she was going against us was because she kicked her legs up in the seat and looked at it, like, put on an ugly face at Melly with her glasses. And then started saying a whole bunch of cuss words, and she went, and my aunt was just like, what? And then she said, excuse me, and then, like, the whole thing just started, and she tried to make fun of my hair and stuff. Well, it made me disappointed, and it made me feel like that she maybe needed, like, some help. Maybe she was upset about something, but at the same time, it's like I was upset and mad at her, and I wanted to say something, but I didn't say it because I felt like that if I did say it, that she would go against me instead of everybody else. And I know that's bad, but, like, I just felt like I wasn't ready to say something.
So when people say things like that, if you could have said something to her and you knew that she would not fight back with you, what would you have told her?
I would have told her that I would have told her that I had a choice between macaroni and cheese and corn dogs. I could have chosen the meat, but I chose mac and cheese, and I have plenty to eat. It's not chick night. You don't even know what, like, that's what I would say to her. It's just, it didn't make any sense at all what she was saying the whole entire time. Well, I do think that a lot of people do think like that. But on the same time, I know that other people don't think like that, because the woman who was sitting on the table next to us was like really interested in what happened. She was on our side and stuff. I would say to like keep shooting for the family that you want, because I think that the family that you want is the family that you were meant to be with. And so I would say go for it and don't let people stop you from it. Don't let what they say affect you. And also, I think it's just a great thing that people are getting adopted and stuff.
Thank you for giving your thoughts.
You're welcome.
I thought it was weird that that lady was taking pictures of it, and Lucy noticed it first, and she pointed it out to me, and I saw it, and I kind of thought it was weird. At first, I thought the lady might have thought my aunt, she was like mistaking my aunt for someone else, but I don't know, it was just weird. I don't know, I just wanted to go in the bathroom and wait till it was over.
It made you uncomfortable?
I think she jumped to conclusions too fast, and she didn't stop and think about it or anything. Most people don't think I'm adopted, but I am, so she didn't say anything about me, but I was adopted too. So everybody always tells me that I look like my mom.
And I take that as a huge compliment. I wish it were more true than it is.
Doesn't matter what people's colors are, they're still people. Like, people are still people no matter what color they are.
Thank you for talking.
No, there was this lady, and she was already mad, and she came into the restaurant, and while we were eating, she was mumbling under her breath, saying that we didn't get any meat when I had meat on my plate. And
so she said you didn't have any meat, but what did you actually order?
Meat.
What kind of meat? Tell people what you ordered.
Wings.
Wings. So you had chicken wings? So at dinner, how were you treated differently from the other kids?
I don't actually know. We're like a good family, and we like each other.
So when people see families like ours, like not just us, but families like ours, how should they treat them?
Good.
They should assume
perfect.
The best.
Yes.
They shouldn't just assume that because people look different, that they act different. I agree. Thank you for coming in here to talk. Fist bump. Go back to sleep. He's a little tired.
She stalked us.
She stalked us. Be more specific.
She took pictures. She pretended she was going to take selfies. And she was like, And she got all the different angles so that she could see the entire table in all pictures.
And why do you think she had a problem with our family?
Because she's racist.
Why do you think she was racist and not just taking pictures of us because she thought we were cute?
Because people don't do that. That's the stalkery thing to do.
So, would you say that when you're in trouble, that we get onto you in restaurants?
Yeah.
When I get onto you in a restaurant, or I ground you and I make you get water or something like that, what do the people at other tables around us do?
Nothing.
If I get onto Caden and Caden's in trouble and I give Caden consequences while we're out in public, what do the people around us do?
Nothing.
If I get onto Lucy in a restaurant and she gets consequences, what do the people around us do?
They think you're racist.
Exactly, and that's a problem. What do you think about the fact that we don't all match?
It's good. Because if everybody was the same, it would be boring.
I agree. You're done. Yay. So in conclusion, I would just like to point out that this lady not only upset my family, but she actually scared my daughter. My daughter was afraid to talk to her. My daughter was afraid that she was going to attack our family. My daughter actually made the comment that we needed to wait a while before we left because she was afraid that lady was going to be waiting outside in the parking lot. And the lady who thought she was defending my children was actually terrifying the girl that she was supposedly defending. And she also insulted an elementary school child's physical appearance. After she said that she was concerned about the child, she then insults her appearance in public, which can also lead to low self-esteem, which we already have struggles with. She's already at an age where that's a struggle, so it was a really bad idea all the way around. But I love my family. I love that we're unique. I love that everybody's not a cookie cutter and that we're not all the same. I love that God chose me to be their mother and that we have an awesome family. And my advice would be, if you see a family out that is transracial and they're having dinner, don't assume that they're foster kids. Don't assume that they're kids from a previous relationship. Don't assume that they're adopted. Don't assume anything. My advice would be, don't assume. Just love everybody, because that's what we're supposed to do. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos on this channel about nerd culture, random acts of kindness, or my awesome, unique family, be sure to subscribe and ding that bell so you'll know when we post new videos. Thanks.